We're doing this.
We're doing this? Oh my goodness. All right.
And we don't get to do this a lot.
I know. Let's do this,
A
though.
lot of our conversations are not recorded.
Not recorded. A lot of our shade is not recorded.
Yeah. No, but it's nice. It's nice to have this interview because I remember the first time I interviewed you more than 3 years ago. For my first issue of Illustrado magazine.
For the 100,
second,
right?
Yeah, the 100. And I was actually thinking of the questions I wanted to ask you. And I remember I watched an interview of Billie Eilish with another magazine. And each year they would ask the same question.
Okay. To see if it has changed.
To see if it has changed. Because, of course, perspective changes, diba? But I think it's also time to get personal.
Wow.
Right?
Okay.
Are you ready for the burning
I'm
questions?
scared.
I'm nervous.
The burning questions.
The burning question.
Go ahead, Alwee.
You're somehow very public, right? With the work that we do.
Somehow.
Somehow.
Yeah.
But not a lot of people know Lalaine outside work. They know Lalaine, the editor-in-chief of Illustrado magazine.
Yeah.
They know Lalaine as the fierce, the mataray always in the photos. We're the team mataray for Team Illustrado.
Yeah.
But you opened your interview 3.5 years ago with I'm Lalaine Chu Benitez, editor-in-chief of Illustrado magazine, an urban farmer, and a superwoman.
Or I would always say an almost superwoman.
An almost superwoman.
I guess it's because, you know, like a lot of women who are in leadership positions or who are, you know, in a situation like I am running the business and all that, we try to be everything. But it's never perfect. You know, you can only try. That's why I always say I'm an almost superwoman because you're running the company, you're very busy, you have somewhat of a public life, and then there's the family.
Yeah.
Which I cherish so much. I spent so much time. Our family is very close-knit.
And us, your extended family.
And your extended family, we feel very, very selfish about, you know, this family. And of course, there's the personal life. There's us doing our gardening at home, farming. If we had all the time in the world, I will seriously spend 50% of my time planting tomatoes and, you know, planting lettuces and all that. But people find it hard to associate those two things together because on the one hand, you're like partying at Armani Privé for the 300, and then on the other hand, Mon and I are tending to the garden.
But what's new? What's changed?
What has changed?
Almost 4 years is gone. Gone. What's changed? I mean, would you add something from that intro?
Wow, that's a difficult question, Alwee. I mean, what has changed? I think in the last 4 years, it was a very interesting ride for us. And that has probably changed me somewhat as a person because when you go through life's ups and downs, you either come out defeated or you come out stronger or wiser, hopefully, you know? So I think going through this roller coaster ride in the last 4 years, you know, with the market being like this, with all of these things happening around us, it was tough for a while, but I guess what changed in me was that I became a little bit more, you know, the term lean into it. There's that term that you lean into it. When the going gets tough, some people fight it. I think in the last year or so, I've learned to lean into it. I think in the last 4 years also, I've learned to let people in more. That's why you see with the kind of work that we do, so many people are really,
They just gravitate towards
they
you.
gravitate towards us, but they are also getting involved in the projects that we do. So I maybe before I was a little bit more closed, and now I feel like I'm a little bit more open. Maybe that's the kind of learning that you get,
How's that process for you though?
The opening up,
Yeah.
the learning.
Because it's tough for some people.
It's tough because when we started this, when we started this, I mean, it was just Mon and me.
Yeah.
Seriously.
You went crazy.
We
you
went
were told
crazy.
You're crazy.
We were told we were crazy. I left my job in the multinational pharmaceutical field at the top of my career. And, people thought we were crazy. And we just started. I mean, it's just the two of us, Mon, at the end of the day. We didn't get any partners because we just wanted to do what we wanted to do. We didn't want any interference. But I realized that as you go through life and as you go through challenges, the ups and downs and everything, you cannot not allow people in. So I think the more I'm getting older, the more I'm getting more experience in this job, the more I'm allowing other people to come and be a part of this.
Do you think it's also like the pride that you wanted to make a point that like I want to start this?
Of course, there's always pride. But I guess I don't know if this is unique to me. Maybe it's how everybody grows up. Maybe it's a part of maturity, not just in the business. But I guess you get softer. You get softer, you get mellower through the years. Again, like I said, hopefully wiser. So pride doesn't mean much anymore. And I think through the process also I became thicker faced. This is true because
we have to be.
We have to be because before I used to get very sensitive and you would take things personally, but now it's like it's okay. We'll just continue what we keep on, what we are here for, and you go on your way because you know that it's good, because you know that you're doing good, and you know that you're fulfilling yourself.
Yeah.
You feel good about it. So yeah, thicker faced, more inclusive, definitely, but probably more guarded about my personal time, because that's one thing that I don't have much of.
And that's very important.
That's very important. That's why I have a friend, and she used to tell me before that I'll just do the Lalaine this weekend. And what she means by do the Lalaine is that she's gonna turn off her telephone, her phone, and not answer people and just disappear. And that's what I like doing. I like to be away. That's like a detox for me. So I'm very guarded with my personal time because there's not much of it. That's what I learned in the last couple of years.
Also, going back to like the business thing, I think it's one challenge that a lot of entrepreneurs and business people face is that it's so hard to remain passionate and patient at the same time.
True.
There are days of like, oh, I'm killing this, I'm winning it, and then there are days like, oh, what am I doing? Am I gonna fail?
It's true.
So how do you deal with that? Especially it's such a broad, like even if it's a fashion and lifestyle magazine, it's still so broad because we deal with a lot of people, from diplomats to fashion designers to entrepreneurs to other creatives.
Yeah.
How do you balance it
13 years, right? 132 issues. I say that with pride because the challenge, the sacrifice, the blood, sweat, and tears is so monumental, especially for us. We're a tiny team. We don't have like 100 people working for us. We don't have departments just shooting for us or doing the content. No, it's just us, and of course our extended family. So it's been tough, but I think what I learned is that the way you stay patient and passionate is to allow yourself to be human, I think, because you will really reach that point, even if you're just an employee or whether you're an entrepreneur or an employee, you will reach the point sometimes where you're questioning what you're doing.
I was gonna ask you that question, like, were there ever a point that you questioned the product?
Just before we finished the 300, just before we finished the 300, we were like, what are we doing to ourselves? This is so tough. You know, is it worth it? Because sometimes the job is thankless. You know, when you put this kind of advocacy onto yourself, you know, and we still consider ourselves very much a social enterprise in the way that we're doing this not only to generate revenues, but we're doing this to generate goodwill for the Filipino community. Sometimes you question yourself, should I be doing this? Should I really be wasting my life doing all this? Is it worth it? But the thing is, I think you have to allow those moments of being human to pass. You don't fight it, and then it will eventually go, because if you really love it, it's bound to come up. You know, if you really love your job, if you're really passionate about what you're doing, through the bad days, you're gonna be okay. But you just have to allow yourself that space. You know, you have to allow yourself to be human, because we're not robots. Some days you feel bad, some days you feel good, and then allow yourself some space, and if you have space, then you can reframe again and see where to take that project on.
Just, it's a tough job. You know, to be able to share that goodness, to be able to share their stories and inspire other Filipinos. And
we're very hands-on.
Yeah, that's true.
Probably people don't know that we're very hands-on, you know, like
even in selection, in the way we tell our stories.
Definitely. I mean, everything goes through the team. Everything goes through the team. This is not something that we outsource to other people and then we just take it and then we put it out. No. Even if we have extra support, everything still has to go through us. And that's tough, but I think that has kept Illustrado where it has always been all these years. You know, we never diluted the quality, we never compromised, even if the going gets tough. And I think that's why people respect us and love what we're doing. So that's the price that you have to pay.
And like, a lot of people don't know this, but we're also very critical, you know, like even among ourselves.
Okay, there's another word for it, but I'm not gonna mention it because there might be a bleep on it. Yeah, we're very critical. It's part of the job,
like
right?
With the people we include in our list, and even among ourselves. I remember in our fashion issue 2 years ago, it was in 2018, that we even had a discussion in the team, should you be on the cover of our fashion magazine?
People probably won't believe this. Because normally, and I think maybe this is human nature, you know, when you have a platform and you want to be successful, the natural thing is to put yourself out there and utilize that platform for your own fame as much as you could. When we had this idea of me sitting with, you know, Michael Cinco, Ezra Santos, and Fern One in one frame with the models for that issue, that was such a big discussion. I remember that, and you know, probably for other people this is unthinkable, but we have to be critical about how we project ourselves out there, because we're not just here to promote ourselves. We're here to promote other Filipinos. I'd like to think that it's more unselfish than just self-serving. But I think we also have to be careful, because sometimes we forget about ourselves.
That's the point of me asking the question, because like I wanted the people, I wanted our audience to understand the thought process of why a cover is a cover, why a story is a story, why a list is a list. Because even us as a team, we go through that.
Definitely. I mean, that was for our 12th anniversary issue, right? And we thought, because we grew up with all these designers, we knew them from the time that they were starting. We feel like we've been part of the success, because when nobody would talk about them, we were already talking about them. When even the Philippines did not respect them, we were already upholding them. So we thought it just fits that we're part of the picture. But like, you know, like you said, we try to be careful not to be self-serving, because if we're self-serving and we're very selfish, Illustrado will not be where it is today. We have to be honest also. But at the same time, we should not forget ourselves, because it's just bad if we're only promoting and they don't know our story. So I appreciate you interviewing me today, because people need to know our story as well.
Of course. And another point that I wanted to get on is, I wanted to detach Lalaine a little bit from Illustrado, because for so many years, you've been the figurehead, you know, like the Lalaine Chu Benitez of Illustrado magazine. 132 issues will be counting. A lot of people look up to you. A lot of women take you as an inspiration. You're very powerful. You have very inspiring story. One of my favorites would be you eating in the restroom because that's the young you, and you got bullied for it. So like
That's
having
unthinkable,
having the success now. Because success is not just monetary, right? We measure success through impact. How much impact were we able to share towards the community? Did it ever get into your head, like, people know me, people look up to me? The only reason I'm asking this is because it was a running joke that we are a monster factory. We've
We
seen
are a
people
monster
come
factory,
and go.
making monsters since 2006. That's been said.
Yeah.
And I think that's true. But I don't consider myself as a monster because I think actually when people meet me, they're surprised that I am so simple. You know, I'm very mababaw, I'm very shallow, I laugh a lot. Obviously, when people see you in a magazine and, just like yesterday, I put out that photo that Jeff Anog has taken, people are like, whoa, who's this person? But you don't look like that every day, the normal me is the normal me, and I'm just a normal person. It's good to be known, but I don't think that I ever will allow that to get into my head because I think we're doing this because of our aspirations for the Filipino community. The selfish part of this thing or of this project for me is that it makes me feel good. It's not that everybody knows me. The selfish part for me is that we're able to do something that we wanted to do, and I feel good for that. But I don't think I will ever be, a monster. But we are making monsters, we can't account for other people because maybe it's human to be drowned by fame sometimes. I always have this expression na ginigisa sa sarili nilang mantika. Some people are like that. You flatter them a little and it gets into their heads. But for me, we're not here for the fame. We're here because we feel that this is the right thing for us to do, that this is what we contribute to the world.
Do you still remember, in one of our parties, this is our 12th anniversary, everyone was dancing and we were in the corner. It was you, me, Miss Roni, our Kapitana, and Simon.
Family moment.
Our family moment. I'm gonna cry again.
Oh my God, goosebumps.
No, and we said, look at this community.
Yeah.
Like, how do you feel about, like, somehow, and I'm gonna say this, that we've built this people, not this people, this community of people, just a pool of people that is just oozing with talent, amazingness, and just so much beauty.
It's amazing, it's awesome. I feel very privileged, and I think the word to describe it without really, trying to be cheesy about it and taking from what Mon said, the other day right after the party that we had for the 300, the category is love. To feel this kind of love from these people who are so talented and so beautiful is a very, very big privilege. It's the kind of thing, it's these days that allow us to get through the tough times, because when you remember, wow, they really felt good, they love us and we've done something to change their lives, we were able to put out some value out there. This is the kind of thing that makes the tough days better. Again, some people will think, okay, maybe you're crazy, but that's our world. That's our world. I think you have to be there to experience it. When we were standing there at Barbary and just watching these people, and it's like, wow, it's something special.
And it was like a slow-mo moment.
It was a slow-mo moment. And I think people feel this every time we have a gathering because it's totally different because it's coming from a good place. It's because of authenticity. It's not like we invite people and gather them and it's all formality and we're trying to go through the motions of a scripted thing. No, we bring people because we love to be with this, with this community, and we're just genuinely enjoying ourselves. So I think that really shines through. So it's a privilege.
How about for the haters?
For the haters,
we cannot please everyone.
Yeah, we cannot please everyone, and I wouldn't even try because. I'm very practical in the sense that I don't want to pay attention to haters because I think you only have so much time in one day. So I try to be selective where I put my time on. Sometimes it's entertainment. That sounds very brutal. People might find me very arrogant when I say this, but for me it's like entertainment. Okay, just look at them. But I don't want people's negativity or their negative deeds to change myself.
But does it affect you, like maybe before, when you
Probably not as
you
much.
started this?
It depends on what it is because there are different levels, right? If it's just a small thing and it's okay, all right, fine, it's just there. I experienced some bullying a couple of years ago, and that was big because that was really noisy and it led to something legal. That was really noisy and controversial, right? So if it doesn't bother me and if it doesn't bother what we're doing, I just let it be. I don't want to spend energy on it. But if it's big, then it requires, whatever action is needed. But like I said earlier, I'm not going to stop people's hate or people's negativity to change my positivity. Because I want to be positive, at the end of the day, sa totoo lang, gusto lang naman nating tumawa araw-araw. This is how simple it is for me. I just want to laugh. I want to be able to do, good work. You want to be able to take pride in what you do. So I don't want to spoil that.
And we even say that in our parties, right? Like we don't have a program because we just want to have fun. We just want to have an excuse to dress up.
Exactly. Dress up, party, enjoy with people, and that's it. No big agendas, no 10-point thing to cover. We just want to go there and have fun with people, and I think that's why people gravitate towards us. It's that energy.
Another question I wanted to ask is, I feel like you're so good at weeding people out.
Really?
Because
okay.
you don't carry the toxic environment with you.
Yeah.
And I know it's very hard because a lot of people gravitate towards you. A lot of people want to be in the radar. Regardless of intentions, may it be good or bad.
I know.
How do you do that?
Okay,
how do you filter?
Again, another interesting question. What I believe is that people who are bad will out themselves eventually. So I don't have to do anything. I don't have to do investigating or anything. I don't need to do all these things. If that person is bad or if that person is good, it's bound to come out. They weed themselves out. I really don't have to do anything about it. I just have to sit back and observe all this, and it's gonna take its course. But I try to be as genuine as I can because I don't like being suspicious of people. Sometimes even you hear of things, I'm like, okay, but I'm open. Unless this person does something bad to me, I won't say or do anything. But I just let things happen, and I guess that's how nature happens. If you're bad, it will show.
Do you think you're judgmental?
Are we judgmental?
Well, that's part of the job.
It's part of the job. It's part of the job. I think being judgmental is part of the job. We can't, So sometimes I remember before when we were doing a commercial job, I think I was updating my Facebook status and I was saying we're objectifying men today, because that's part of the job. We're casting for a commercial for a men's lifestyle brand. So I think being judgmental is part of the job because we have to set benchmarks. In terms of being judgmental as a person, maybe, I think everybody's judgmental. Come on, Alwee.
I think we have to be.
We have to be. Judgmental in such a way that...
not in like, I will condemn you and not talk to you forever.
No, it's not like that. But judgmental, you have a certain feeling for people. That's what I mean by being judgmental. You have a certain way, that you feel about people when you meet them. There's a certain vibe, and that's where you make certain conclusions. And I guess that's just human. But I won't say or do anything big based on just gut feel. Never. Actually, I'm the last to judge.
Yeah.
I try to be the last to judge because I want to give everybody the benefit of the doubt. But for our job, yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Because we need to rewrite stories, and
Yeah.
you are an amazing writer, and I think that comes from curiosity. But where does that curiosity come from? The need to, the passion to know more about someone.
I just enjoy talking to people, I guess. I enjoy talking to people, and I like finding out things which were not expected or which are out of the ordinary, and I like to explore these things without being pakialamera, right? You know, but I think there's always that natural curiosity. You have to be curious to be able to tell stories, because if you don't have any questions, so what are you going to talk about? But I think that's just there. It's just there, but you know, short of being pakialamera, there's that natural curiosity for me when it comes to people. Yeah.
How about what is the biggest life lesson you've learned?
Oh my God. Okay. Biggest life lesson. Wow. The biggest life lesson really that I've learned. It's a bit serious, right? My mom died about 5 years ago. The biggest life lesson for me there is that no matter how much money you have, how much success you have, what kind of job you're doing or whatever, in the end, it's really just family and the people you love. That's the biggest lesson for me. That was a shocker for me. That made me question everything. Because what are you doing all this for? And that's probably why my attitude is very light these days, because I don't want to sweat the small stuff anymore. Because at the end of the day, this is nothing, you know, all this is nothing.
No, because I'm just trying to understand how, or are you, when do you allow yourself to be vulnerable? Because you're out in public.
Well, that's a good
you're
question.
the figurehead.
I know.
And
That's why you can't hug me. Because I'm not like that. No, I mean, it's not only about me being in the public or being the, you know, the face of Illustrado or the voice for Illustrado. I grew up as the ate. I was the big sister. I was always the big sister. I had to be strong for my siblings, you know, through the challenges in life. And I was always strong, you know. It's always been like that, but I'm not a robot.
yeah,
I have feelings too, Alwee.
Like, don't you ever get tired?
I get tired. I get tired.
You allow yourself to.
I allow myself to get tired. I think you have to be forgiving of yourself, because you're gonna go crazy if you don't allow yourself to get tired, or it's admitting to yourself that you're also human. And just, you know, let time pass. I have those moments when I just want to be still. I want to be quiet and let everything pass, because at the end of the day, everybody's human. I'm also human. In case people didn't know, I am so human. I'm very human, right? I mean, they think that I'm strong, and I think part of being an almost superwoman is allowing yourself to be vulnerable also, even if nobody sees it.
Let's talk about pet peeves. What's your
Yes.
biggest pet peeve?
Oh my God, my biggest pet peeve? Okay, I'm gonna sound really bad now. I hate silly mistakes. I hate silly mistakes, and let me explain this, right? I always keep telling, you know, not only my boys, our boys, and our team, I hate silly mistakes, because when you've put on so much effort, you know, you've done everything, the work is flawless, and then you make one silly mistake, it kills everything.
Yeah.
That's why I keep telling people, try not to make these silly mistakes, because it kills the entire effort that you put into it. What else do I don't like people who think that they're above other people. I don't like that. No matter how people perceive me being the editor-in-chief of a magazine like this, I'm not that kind of a person. I'm very, very down to earth. And one thing that I don't like is other people looking down on other people. I don't like that. If they behave like, you know, they're supposed to be special compared to other people. You know, like I was telling people before, like when we go to the consulate, when we go for events, we also fall in line.
Yeah.
And that's a lesson that I want to teach. I've always taught my kids that. We've always taught our kids that. So we try to be very humble. But yes, I don't like silly mistakes, and I don't like people who think that they're beyond or above everybody else.
In the last issue that we did, the 300, very recent, a lot of people said thank you to you, to the team.
Yeah.
But what are you most thankful for?
Wow. I really, what I'm most thankful for is the team that works in this magazine. Really, it's to have this tiny team. You know, Mon, Miss Roni, you, the boys, and our extended family. This for me is what I'm most grateful for, because you will not get people like this, just like that. Just like that. I think that
And the willingness.
The passion, the pursuit for quality in whatever we do, whether we're putting out a magazine or organizing an event or welcoming people at our party, you know, the quality and the willingness to really, you know, suffer with us through the entire process and work, you know, for nothing.
But
This is what I'm so thankful for.
It's also the earnest work that you've done, and of course,
Yeah.
Sermon, we share that.
It's
That's
like
why a lot
yeah.
of people gravitate towards that initiative.
This is the validation for me. To see people put their time and effort on this is the validation that yes, we must have done something good. We must have been kind to people. And that's the other life learning that I have. Goodness begets goodness. You know, if you put out good things out there, it's bound to come back to you. Again, some people might say that that's cliche, but we've proven it time and time again. We've planted so many good seeds, and I'm just happy that, you know, we're harvesting all those good things that we planted. Yeah.
So what's next for Team Illustrado?
Wow,
what's
what's
next
next?
for the magazine?
Not 500. Not 500, because people were saying, Conjan was telling me the other day, oh, you know, it's going to be the 500th anniversary of the Philippines next March. Maybe you should do a 500. And I'm like, okay, no more, no more. What's next is that we're trying to evolve what we do so that we can be more of value to people. I cannot say anything right now, you know, in terms of something specific, but people are going to see a lot more interesting things happening on our platform. We have a lot of projects to roll out. Yeah, the only thing that I can say is that we'll be more active, and they will see a lot more interaction with our community in the next couple of months. But yeah, and hopefully someday I can be a full-time farmer. Mon and I would like to do that. That's the dream.
Right.
A full-time philanthropist and farmer. That's
that's
the
how you
dream.
add them. Lalaine Chu Benitez.
Yeah, aspiring full-time philanthropist and farmer.
I think that's how we'll end this. I don't know how to end this.
We don't know. You're not gonna ask me what kind of ulam
What
I
kind
am.
of ulam?
I don't know. I'm probably a pasta. But thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alwee. Thank you.